superior biologically. God MC, so every verse I spit mythology. Modern day philosopher, you can call me Socrates. Cock and squeeze before I copple, please, just my philosophy. Fuck the casualties, I'm trying to come up mathematically. Live lavishly with family and the faculty. Actually, this hustling and this rapping shit come naturally. They get it gradually, words put together systematically. Kill 'em.
All right, this is once again the Loyal Shooter Review. I took some time off of the Loyal Shooter Reviews. Not that I wasn't reviewing music. It's something that I do just as a pastime because I love it. But I just had to figure out some things and sort through some things. But I'm not going to do too much talking because I really, really wanted to jump into this review. The artist that I'm reviewing today is an artist by the name of Jkilla. Jkilla, I think it's spelled as one word together. He's an artist out of Columbia, South Carolina. He's on the lyrical side, but more so street gritty storytelling artist. If you've heard of him, you may know him from associated acts such as Young Blaze, who is, they seem to be partners when it comes to music and recording. They're in Music Never Dies recording group. And they also perform with a band out of Columbia, South Carolina called The Haves. I think it's called The Haves. It might be called The Have-Nots, but pretty sure it's called The Haves. They have their own lane here. They all record and perform throughout the city. Been doing it for several years. Nothing new to it. And they're very, very dope and talented artists that I've followed for years. The project that we're reviewing is an album that was put out by Jkilla. It's called Chapters. All right. If you are watching or listening to this on YouTube and not the podcast, I will put the link in the description below to Chapters. It is available right now, streaming on all streaming platforms. Okay. No excuse not to listen. It was released on November 8th with a runtime of 25 minutes, 7 tracks on Music Never Dies recording group. And I was anxious to jump into it. I sat on it for a couple of days listening to it, which is what I like to do. Artists, if you want your music review to come out sooner, I don't like to review it the same day. I mean, I can, but I like to sit on it for a while before I actually review it because it really, gives a couple of listens and really throw something out there. But it's called Chapters by Jkilla. It's an album. I think it's being billed as an album, not a mixtape. But we'll jump right into it because I really, really want to give you guys some of what I got from listening to this. Now, we'll start with the cover art. The cover art on the album features a collage of a photo. It's a family photo, it looks to be. I would assume it's Jkilla and one of the people in the picture, along with his family. It looks to be from, the early 90s or something like that. You feel what I'm talking about? The photo is replicated 4 times on a black background in a square formation with what looks to be a sepia filter. But cutting through the lower 2 pics in original color are 4 boxes that kind of looks like a reel. But it's all, the same picture, just replicated 4 times. Below that is Jkilla's name in red beside the slightly bigger project name, Chapters, in white script. And then there's a parental advisory sticker at the bottom center. Now, I'm going to say this every single time I do a review with an album with the cover with parental advisory sticker. I do not like the parental advisory sticker. I feel like in 2019, the parental advisory sticker is just there as an aesthetic to make it look like an album cover. There's absolutely no need for it. There wasn't even a requirement. It wasn't even a legal requirement that you put a parental advisory sticker on your CD back when CDs were consumed and purchased in stores. It was just something that was done and recommended, but it was never required. And even now, more so that the music is consumed on the digital level, the parental advisory sticker actually serves no purpose. It's just there to, to make it look like an album cover. So I did away with it. I will never have that on any more of my projects, but it's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's the album cover for Chapters. Now, I'll say this, looking at the album cover, it kind of meant more to me after hearing the album than it did before hearing the album, because I was wondering what Chapters meant and how that coincided with the family photo on the album, but we'll have a little bit more on that later. The first song is called Chapter 1, 536. Now, I'm not sure the significance of the number 536. But that's what it's called. Chapter 1, 536. The first notable thing that you'll hear is an iMix Nation tag, which if you are really in South Carolina, period, at this point, maybe even South Carolina, North Carolina, in some parts of like Atlanta and Georgia, if you know what iMix Nation is, it's a tag that means the song is finna be hard as fuck. You see what I'm saying? It's basically the tag from an engineer out of Columbia, South Carolina named Nation. But yeah, that comes on. The production is 4-5 Evans, a really underrated producer right here in Columbia, South Carolina. I don't even know if it goes by 4-5 Beats or 4-5 Evans. I don't know, but 4-5 on the track. So this song served as a great introduction to this particular project, and also to Jkilla as an artist. You really kind of get a feel for what you'll get, even if you've never heard of him before. He's a wordsmith, is what I like to call. He's definitely a wordsmith, and the reason I call him a wordsmith, wordsmith is different, in my opinion, than lyricist, and different than any other element of rap. Because to me, a wordsmith is a person who plays with words and bends them as so that they fit within the story or within the rhyme scheme. For example, in this song, Chapter 1, Jkilla has a couple of lines where he rhymes the word real, the word tale, and the word where. He rhymes them line after line: real, tale, and where. Now, speaking in standard English vernacular, those words don't really rhyme. But that's where being a wordsmith comes into play, because you can rhyme real, tell, and where if you are a wordsmith, and that's what Jkilla does on this song. He also spits has a nice line about a nice line from Crystal's about Langston Hughes. Well, it's not about Langston Hughes. It's referencing the Langston Hughes poem Mother to Son, where he says life ain't nothing but no crystal stare, or something shit he said, but it's dope. But another aspect of his wordsmith like behavior on this track, always treating us like we convicts. I'm convinced. Again, I mean, it's just really refreshing to hear a artist be a wordsmith, and I was definitely appreciative of the way he bended words and used them in this song. Now, I'm not entirely sure at this point in the album how the theme it ties into the title. Obviously, chapters are in books and stories. Many of his lines from the song can be quoted and read like scriptures. Maybe this is his book of life. Maybe it's street scriptures, the Bible. I don't know. But the song is definitely dope to start off. The next song is called Throne for the Taking. Now, in the city of Columbia, and even the state, arguably, even North Carolina, if you subject to the fact that the baby, as far as like a rapper's rapper, is not like the king of this region, the throne, when it comes to rap, is for the taking. And he addresses this in this song, okay? As well as his role in the current state, while alluding to the fact that if the throne is for the taking, he is the one that needs to be taken from, right? But he's also simultaneously listing the reasons that it should be him that has the throne, and displaying examples of, you know, the things that he has done, and just his prowess as to why he stakes claim to it. It's definitely a dope song. It was one of my favorites on my first listen, and the second listen to the album. So definitely one for for replay value here. Now the second song is called One Question. Now, I can just sum this up as just an aggressive display of Jkilla's arsenal of rap skills. I mean, both verses display what I think are Jkilla's strongest three attributes as a rapper, based off of me listening to him for this project and previously released songs, right? Verse 1 displays his one-liner abilities, right? The ability to come up with quotables, Instagram caption-worthy lines, okay? Second verse, straight rhyming ability, rapidy rap, you know, rhyming stuff together like philosophy, Socrates, actually, naturally, savagely, mathematically. It's my favorite thing to do as a rapper, rapidy rap. And he, does an amazing job of doing that on this song. And then he rounds out that second verse with punchlines. You see what I'm saying? Dope ass Kobe Bryant reference, among others. The hook is hard as fuck too. I really like the second part of the hook because it pays homage to my favorite album of all time, which is 400 Degrees by Juvenile. The song was Rich Niggas, side B if you had the tape. You know what I'm saying? Walk it like I talk it, play it how I play it, preach it how I preach it. Like, put that on your head. Bet 1,000, shoot 1,000, it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Loud pipe, big rims, baby, that's my life. You know what I'm saying? I can get into that later. But yeah, man, that's a dope ass song. That one question. I swear to God, it's dope. For me, Chapter 2, Stressin' was the next song. What I really liked about this song as it came on was that I noticed it was called Chapter 2, and it actually felt like a change of pace coming from the One Question song. This song is exactly the lane that I'm in right now myself as a fan and as an artist. There's a whole generation and community of rap fans and artists out here who are approaching their 30s, or either they just got in their 30s and they working to support themselves and their family or whatever, but they still have not settled into what we may have envisioned 30 to look like when we were teens or in our early 20s. This song right here, Chapter 2, Stressin', kind of speaks to that community. It's amazingly easy to relate to, and frequent collaborator Young Blaze lends a verse that drives the message home. Dope shit, man. I promise you that much. So the next track, though, is called Brother's Keeper. The liner in this one, 16 or OG, this is what he taught. Gladiators always finish what these cowards start. That's the line of the album to me. I don't know why that line stuck to me so hard, but that is the line of the album. Who doesn't like a good storytelling rap? Jkilla tells a story of a brother, or maybe two brothers, that he grew up with, and the way that he weaves the details of their upbringing, without missing a mark on the flow. I mean, it's phenomenal. And to be honest, this song reminds me of me and my relationship with Riverside KP. How we came together, came up, the shit we talked about doing, the shit that we envisioned doing, the talent and the skill that he has, versus, where he ended up going and spending the bulk of the last 10 years, which is in jail. It's very sad, but it's also relatable, which is another thing that makes this fucking album, what it is. The next song is called Creme De La Creme, all right? Creme De La Creme is actually a song that, it's a song, it's actually been out for about 4 years, I would say. I loved the song, to be honest, when it first came out. But it disappeared, and now it's back, and it kind of seems different. It may have been re-recorded. If it's not re-recorded, it's definitely a different mix than the original release version. But some of the life from the original mix that I loved about the song has been kind of taken away. Young Blaze is on this one as well. The verses are the same as I remember them before, but there's just something different about this song that takes away from what I was expecting when I heard that this song was on the album, because I had been looking for this song for quite some time since it first came out. The next song and the closer is called Chapter 3, October 87, which I'm assuming to be the birth date, and birth month and year, maybe, of Jkilla. This song, just like Chapter 2 and Chapter 1, they turned the page in this Jkilla book that's being written and recited by this street poet. And I love how 4-5 fades this beat in. It's very cinematic, and Jkilla wastes no time attacking it with a flow and rhyme scheme with the synergy of a parasite and host, one that needs the other. You see what I'm saying? And the project actually closes on this song with the hook actually fading out to end the project. Now, I don't do rating scales, okay? I discuss the overall quality of a project as a whole in hopes that something I say may spark you to listen for yourself. Now, overall, this project has something that is missing from a lot of music coming out of Columbia, out of South Carolina, and really everywhere. This project feels like an album, like a cohesive project. Some of that is assisted by the consistent mood that's created by 4-5's production. Jkilla also creates a theme and feel while displaying bits of versatility that keeps the mood, the theme, and the vibe going throughout the entire project. If you're a fan of rhyme schemes and quote-worthy street one-liners, you will love this project the way that I did. Now, my biggest critique of the project is that it sort of feels incomplete. By track 7, you're immersed in this world that Jkilla has created. And then boom, it's over. But the way the hook fades out, it almost seems intentional, as if to leave you with a cliffhanger, wanting more. This project definitely has album vibes, albeit a seemingly incomplete album, but every song has replay value and nothing comes off as filler. Now, it's kind of hard to have filler with a 7-track album, but still, I've heard 7-track and less albums or EPs with filler songs that could have been left off. Each song delivers. Now, my favorite track has to be One Question, simply because it's a showcase of his versatility as an artist. Also, the beat, the vibes, the mood, everything about it to me is just amazing. And my least favorite, it's very sad to say this, but it has to be Creme De La Creme. The reason for it, I mean, the song is about 4 years old. That's not the reason why, but, you know, I loved it when it came out, as I do today. But I'm willing to bet money that is not the original mix on that song. And the new mix takes something away. The song doesn't take much away from the project, and Blaze is in rare form on his verse. It's just my least favorite track on this album. But after listening to the album and the depth that it has, and you know the pictures that it paints about Jkilla, when I went back and looked at the album cover, it made a lot more sense. I can't kind of put it into words, but after listening to the album, just a look at the album cover makes it make a little bit more sense to me, and it kind of ties it all home. So I don't know whether Jkilla's looking to release another follow-up to chapters soon. But if, you know, I'm definitely here for it. I'm looking forward to it because it definitely left me wanting more, all right? But I would recommend it, man. Go check out Jkilla's chapters right now, streaming on all social media. See what I'm saying? If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm about to end this right now. Go check it out. The link is in the description below. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, Lawyer Shooter Podcast, we in here. Shit, let me see. What else are we going to talk about? Thoughts.